On the morning of the 18th of April, 2016, the small town of Midlothian, Texas, was shaken by a brutal and perplexing crime that would capture national attention and remain unsolved nearly a decade later. Terry Missy Bevers, a 45-year-old fitness instructor, wife and mother of 3, was found dead inside the Creekside Church of Christ, where she had arrived to prepare for an early morning fitness class. Bevers, known for her vibrant personality and dedication to her community, was a beloved figure in Midlothian, a city of about 40,000 located southwest of Dallas. Her murder, marked by eerie surveillance footage and a lack of clear suspects, has baffled investigators, sparked widespread speculation, and left her family and community grappling for answers. Missy Bevers was born Terry Leanne Strickland on the 9th of August, 1970, in Graham, Texas. She married Brandon Bevers in 1998, and together they raised 3 daughters in Red Oak, a town near Midlothian. Before becoming a fitness instructor, Missy worked as a special education teacher, a role that suited her nurturing and compassionate nature. After staying home to raise her children, she pursued a career in fitness, becoming a popular instructor for Camp Gladiator, a boot camp-style workout program. Her classes, often held in the parking lot of Creekside Church, drew a loyal following, and Missy's enthusiasm for helping others achieve their fitness goals made her a local favorite. On the evening of the 17th of April, 2016, she posted on Facebook, informing her students that the next morning's 5 a.m. class would be held inside the church due to a heavy thunderstorm, a decision that would unknowingly set the stage for her tragic end. At approximately 4:18 a.m. on the 18th of April, Missy arrived at the church, as captured by unreleased surveillance footage. The church, typically a quiet and sacred space, was an unusual setting for such a violent crime, which only deepened the mystery. Shortly after 5 a.m., her students arrived and discovered her unresponsive body, marred by multiple puncture wounds to her head and chest. Emergency services were called, but Missy was pronounced dead at the scene. The brutality of the attack, coupled with the sacred setting, stunned the Midlothian community, which had not seen a homicide in years. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence in the case was the church's surveillance footage, which captured an individual roaming the hallways before Missy's arrival. The person, believed to be her killer, was dressed in what appeared to be police tactical gear, including a helmet, vest, and gloves, and was seen carrying a hammer. The figure's face was obscured, and their gender could not be determined. The suspect moved through the church for about 30 minutes, breaking glass, opening doors, and appearing to vandalize the property, though nothing was stolen. This behavior led police to initially consider burglary as a motive, but the absence of missing items, including Missy's purse, iPad, and wedding ring, suggested otherwise. Authorities later concluded that the crime was likely targeted and staged to resemble a burglary gone wrong, a theory that shifted the focus to Missy's personal life and relationships. The surveillance footage, released to the public shortly after the murder, became a focal point of the investigation. The suspect's distinctive gait, described as having an outward pronation, particularly on the right foot, drew significant attention. Midlothian police enlisted forensic podiatrist Dr. Michael Nierenberg to analyze the footage, hoping the suspect's walk could lead to an identification. Nierenberg noted that the tactical gear and weapon could alter the suspect's natural gait, complicating the analysis, but he identified one individual whose walk resembled the suspect's when comparing it to videos provided by investigators. Despite this, no arrests were made, and the suspect's identity remained elusive. The footage, described as both eerie and haunting, fueled public fascination and led to thousands of tips, though most lacked the substance needed to advance the case. As investigators delved into Missy's life, they uncovered details that suggested possible motives. Missy and Brandon Bevers were reportedly experiencing marital and financial difficulties, and there were allegations of infidelity on both sides. Search warrants revealed that Missy had received creepy and strange messages from an unknown male on LinkedIn, some of which were flirtatious. Police tracked down the individual, who described the interactions as innocuous, and he was not named a suspect. The possibility that Missy knew her killer or had interacted with them prior to the crime added a layer of complexity to the investigation. Some speculated that the murder was a crime of passion, possibly linked to a scorned lover or a jealous spouse, but no concrete evidence supported these theories. Missy's family, particularly her husband, Brandon, and father-in-law, Randy Bevers, faced intense scrutiny. Brandon was on a fishing trip in Mississippi at the time of the murder, and Randy was traveling in California, providing both with alibis that were verified by police. However, suspicion arose when Randy brought a blood-stained woman's shirt to a dry cleaner 4 days after the murder, claiming the blood was from a dog injured in a fight. Forensic analysis confirmed the blood was canine, not human, and Randy was cleared. Despite their alibis, some online sleuths and community members continued to question the Bevers family's involvement, fueled by Randy's similar build and gait to the suspect and the troubled state of Missy and Brandon's marriage. Police, however, have consistently stated that the family is not a focus of the investigation. Another lead emerged from surveillance footage at SWFA Outdoors, a nearby sports goods store, which captured a 2010-2012 Nissan Altima or Infiniti G37 driving slowly through the parking lot around 2 a.m. on the morning of the murder. The driver behaved strangely, circling the lot, flashing headlights, and parking briefly before leaving. Police released stills and later the full footage, hoping to identify the driver, but no one came forward. While the vehicle's connection to the murder remains uncertain, its unusual activity kept it relevant to the investigation. The lack of progress on this and other leads frustrated both law enforcement and the community, who yearned for closure. The Midlothian Police Department, supported by the FBI and Texas Rangers, pursued the case aggressively, receiving over 3,000 tips and conducting interviews across Texas and beyond. Despite the volume of information, the case stalled, with no arrests or named suspects. Chief Carl Smith, who led the investigation in its early years, emphasized that the case was not cold, and a full-time detective remained assigned to it. In 2021, a retired federal agent joined the investigation into Missy Bevers' murder, but the long-awaited breakthrough never came. The department's decision to withhold key evidence, including unreleased surveillance footage of Missy's final moments, aimed to protect the case's integrity but also fueled public frustration and speculation. The community's response was powerful. In 2020, former co-worker Renee Rodden and Crystal Lawson launched the True Crime Broads podcast to keep attention on the case. Their efforts included vigils, planting a memorial tree, and raising funds for a billboard offering a $150,000 reward through Ellis County Crime Stoppers. Annual gatherings at Kimmel Park, where Missy is memorialized, reflected the community's determination to seek justice. In 2024, Missy's husband, Brandon Bevers, spoke publicly for the first time in years, surprising many by stating he believed her murder was R. Glax Bevers, and contradicting police theories of a targeted attack. He recalled the chaos following her death, the scrutiny he faced, and his focus on shielding their daughters from public speculation. As of May 2025, Missy Bevers' murder remains one of Texas's most haunting unsolved cases. The investigation remains active, but with no suspect, motive, or definitive evidence, the case lingers, while the community's hope for justice persists.